All right, so let's talk about using counters again, but to visualize a different operation, subtraction. So some things are going to be the same and others are going to be a little bit different. So things that are the same are these first two questions that are here. Yellow is going to be for positive and red is going to be for negative. Here's though where the process starts off similar, but then is going to be a little different. The first thing you're going to do is use the right color counter to make the first number. So that was really similar to adding. The first number told us what to build, and we built it. But here's where it gets a little trickier. In the next thing, you're going to end up having to do subtraction. And if we think about what subtraction means, kind of back in the day to elementary school, we know that subtraction means take away. So we're actually going to take away counters. So not just necessarily cross them off like we did when we had zero pairs in the positive, but actually take them away. The number that the second one says and the other key here is they have to be the right color. And we'll talk about kind of what that means when we look at the problems below. And so then when you have a problem with them being in the right color, which you'll see will happen once we get to the third problem, then you're going to add zeros if necessary. And so then last but not least, the end is going to be the same as what it was with adding. The digit for your answer is how many counters are left, and the sign is the color of the counters that are left. So the first and last part's the same. It's just what happens in the middle that's going to change with subtracting. So if I try this first problem here, it says -3 minus -2. So my first step is to use the right color to make the first number. So the first number says -3, red is negative, so I'm going to pull up 3 reds. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, when this was adding, then we would pull up 2 more reds, but this doesn't say plus in the middle, it says minus. So it's a subtraction problem here. So what we need to do is take away the number of counters the second number says in the right color. So subtract tells us to take away, and we need to take away -2, which means since it's negative, they need to be red, and it needs to be 2 of them. So if I have 3 of these, and I'm going to take away 2, I'm going to use this little symbol to show my taken away since we can't totally, get rid of them as easily here online. So I took away 2 because it said a -2, so 2 red, and I'm taking them away. The last part's just like adding. So the digit for the answer is how many counters are left. So there's 1. And the sign is the color of it. It's 1 red, so it's going to be -1. So -3 minus -2 equals -1. Let's try another one. This one again says -3, and then it's going to be minus -1. So first I use the right color counter to make the first number. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, because it was -3. Then minus tells me I'm going to take away 1 negative. So down here, I need to take away 1 negative. So that means 1 red is going to get taken away. And then I'll count up what I have left. So there's 2 that are left. And because they're red, it's a -2. So those two, not that bad, pretty easy, right? You just take away what it tells you. But once we look at the next problem, we're going to run into a little bit of a tricky thing here, which is that we aren't going to have the right things to take away. So what happens then? I start off the problem exactly the same, -3. So I'm taking my 3 reds, bringing them up, okay? But then it says -2. It's not a -2 because this is a minus, right? So it's a positive 2. In order to take away a positive 2, I need to take away 2 yellows. But there are no yellows in my problem right now. So that's where this part comes in, where it says add zeros if necessary. So I need to get yellows into this problem so that I can take them away. But if I put in a yellow, this isn't the same problem because now I've added a positive to what was already here. The only way I can make it be the same problem is if I add in zeros. And we know from adding that a 0 is 1 yellow and 1 red. So there's a 0. I'm close now, but I need to be able to take away 2 positives. So that means I need to add another 0. And now I can do what the problem said. It said start with -3 and take away 2. So I'm going to take away my 2 positives. And then I'll count up what I have left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters, and they're all red, so -5 would be my answer. Okay, so let's try another one like that. This time, it says I'm going to start with 3, and it's a positive 3. So I'm starting with 3 yellows. 1, 2, 3. And I need to take away -1. -1 is negative, so it would be red, but there's no red in my problem. So I need to add a red one in. But in order to keep it the same problem, I have to make a 0, so that means I need to add a yellow 2. So all I have to take away is -1. I have 1 red now, so I can take it away, like the problem told me. Oops. And then I count up what's left. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are left, and they're yellow, so it would be a positive 4. In the next problem, it says to start with a -1, and then I need to take away a -1. So I can do that, right? Because -1 is negative, it's red. I have 1 red already to take away. So, excuse me, this is like the first 2 where I don't have to add anything in. I can just take it away. And so now what's left? Well, nothing. So my number that is nothing would be 0. And that kind of makes sense. You had a -1, and you took away a -1. So there's nothing that's left. Last problem here. I start with 3, and it's positive 3, so I need 3 yellows. 1, 2, 3. Then I need to take away -2. I can't right now because -2 is negative and it's red, and there's no reds here. So I need to add in my zeros. So a negative and a positive, 0. I need -2, so that means I need to have 2 red in my problem. So another negative and a positive. And now I can take away my -2. So bye-bye 2 reds. And what do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And it's positive because they're all yellow. So to sum it up, we build with the first color. We take away the right color of the second one and add zeros if we have to, so if we don't have the right color to take away. And then our final answer, the digits, how many are left, and the sign is the color of what's left. So that's what we're going to keep practicing.